Keto Simple. My name is Dustin. I'm so glad you're here. This stream will be starting soon, so grab your coffee, get comfortable, and settle in. We're building a strong and supportive community, so say hello in the chat, ask questions, and feel free to use super chats if there's anything that you want to see highlighted. Thank you for being here and being a part of this journey. Let's keep it positive and respectful as we connect and grow together. I can't wait to get started. Good morning, everybody. How are you? How are morning? Let's see. There we go. There we go. Can you hear me? All right. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with me, Dustin, here on Keto Simple. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. I had a great day yesterday. Had a meetup. We'll talk about that in a little bit. First off, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of the day. Get that out of the way. When somebody discovers a new way of eating and it finally helps them feel better, as we all have, right? Maybe it's keto, maybe it's carnivore, maybe it's something along the lines of a proper human diet spectrum. The excitement, we talked a little bit about excitement on Tuesday, right? How to rekindle that excitement. But the excitement can be overwhelming for some. And for many people, it feels like waking up from a fog. I understand that. I remember the day that it happened. I remember the day that the fog lifted and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm living in like HD and it's just ridiculous because I felt like I was just walking through mud, like just walking through, and there's always something holding me back and just holding onto me. And I just feel like I couldn't get a good stride. And I just felt just overwhelmed a lot of the times. And finally, when that fog lifted that I didn't even realize was there, it's like you feel like you're walking through a bog, you feel like you're walking through mud, but you just feel that's just who you are. You don't notice you don't have any basis of comparison, I suppose. So when that fog lifts and and your mental clarity opens up and your energy improves and your hunger changes and inflammation drops and suddenly something clicks that didn't before. And when that happens, the natural instinct is to want to share that with everyone from the top of rooftops, from the top of mountains, from social media, every platform known to man, your loved ones, your coworkers, your family, your spouse, your kids, anybody within earshot. We've all been there. We want to tell everybody. We do. And that excitement can sometimes turn into something else. Sometimes for some of us, it turns into an obsession. It turns into something that's no longer healthy for us. It can turn into tribalism and identity. We don't want the way that we eat to be our identity. And I see that and have seen that starting with keto in the mid to late 2000s coming into 2020. I was that person. Keto. Look at my handle, for gosh sakes, right? Like my handle's Keto Simple. My channel's Keto Simple because that was everything. The identity is there. It is not necessarily who I am. It's what I represent these days, and as far as a social media presence, as far as a channel, as far as, as far as public perception, but I wouldn't say it's my identity. I am Dustin. I am a grandfather. I am a stepdad. I am a spouse. I'm a friend. I am a lot of things. But keto, carnivore doesn't necessarily come into play. Am I now a certified proper human diet health coach? Yes, I am a certified health coach. But I'm not going to let that be my identity. That is something, a tool in my toolbox that I can use to help others, like this channel. This channel is a tool in my toolbox to help others. Instagram, Twitter, all those things are simply tools in a toolbox that I can use to help others, just like carnivore, keto, anywhere you fall on the spectrum of a proper human diet should be simply a tool in your toolbox to help you find success. We talked last week, whether it was GLP-1s or weight loss surgery, these are all tools in a toolbox that we can utilize to help us find success in our journey for a healthier, better us. But we don't want it to become something that we have to defend like a belief system. Now, do we come to the rescue of keto and carnivore when people say that you're going to have a heart attack or you're going to have problems with cholesterol? Yes, of course we do. But that's more along the lines of defending a way of life that could totally be beneficial for somebody else. But we get into keto versus carnivore, plants versus no plants, seed oils versus everything else. And before long, the conversation stops being about helping people feel better and it starts becoming about proving who is right. Because can someone still eat the crappy mayo and eat broccoli and have, the myriad of salad dressings that are on the market that do have seed oils in them, and eat bologna and hot dogs and the cheapest burger possible and still find success and weight loss and health changes? Of course. Of course they can. Can they use all the spices they want and have the keto treats that they want and still find success? A lot of people probably would. Is it how I would do it? No, it's not how I would do it now. But that doesn't mean that they won't find success. So me being a person who goes after them and tells them that they're doing it wrong doesn't solve anything. If I don't let them be a part of my community because they're not doing exactly the same thing that I'm doing, doesn't make any sense. Because once the conversation stops being about how we help the most people, how we help the most people, how we involve the most people, and starts becoming something about, well, you know, this is a carnivore chat or whatever, then we've lost the battle. We've given up the ghost. But at the same time, we're navigating a world that doesn't always welcome these conversations. Family members, we all have family that question our choices, that think we're doing it wrong, that think that we're going to have that heart attack, think that we're going to have all these health problems, that we're going to give ourselves diabetes from eating all the beef. Friends and family and coworkers who think we're extreme because we don't want to go out to dinner with them, or if we do go to the restaurant of their choosing, that we sit and have water or maybe a soda or whatever. And we don't order from the menu because there isn't anything necessarily we find beneficial to us. There's a lot of times I go to the restaurants and they do have probably a clean burger patty, that I could order, but like, why am I spending $14 on a single burger patty and some mustard when I could eat a ribeye at home for that? I still want the I still want the companionship. I still want the friendship. I still want to go and spend time with my friends. But I can have a soda. I can have a water. I can have an unsweetened iced tea, whatever. Again, pop culture is going to mock our diet trends for now. There's a lot of things about what's going on with us that's going to get mocked as things like the carnivore diet become more and more popular. We've seen it with keto. We've seen it with other things. We've seen it with veganism. Just because we don't necessarily find veganism something that we want to talk about or we want to do doesn't mean those people aren't trying to make themselves better by what they think is the best way. I went on a live the other day and I wasn't on, I was chatting in the live with a doctor, and she was a plant-based vegan doctor. And she was asking questions, I was answering those questions. We were talking about cortisol, we were talking about sleep, we were talking about what was the other thing we were talking about? It escapes me because I was kind of in a hurry because I was talking, then I had to leave. I had to run to the post office. But I was in her chat and I was talking about all these things. And we talked, she was saying that, she's never felt better in her life from, eating a plant-based vegan diet. We were talking about IBL, we were talking about IBS, and we were talking about Crohn's and ulcerative colitis and all these things. And we were talking about, and I put in the chat, and there's a growing number of people who are finding relief, remission from these ailments from going, lion diet, carnivore. She didn't seem to understand that. She didn't even really know what keto was, but she's a doctor. So I think we do kind of get these blinders on. I don't want to only know what carnivore is. I don't only want to know what keto is. I want to understand as much about everybody as I can, especially somebody as a health coach, because is somebody going to, will I work with somebody who is, wants to do as close to vegan keto as they possibly can? I don't know. I've heard others say that they won't, but I don't know if I would or not. Because again, my goal isn't to keep them from being vegan. My goal is to keep them from being sick. My goal is to help them find their path. Maybe I can. Maybe it might be something for me to try. It may not work out. It may be an awful experience for the both of us. I don't know. I mean, that's not why I took the Proper Human Diet PhD Dr. Barry course to help vegans. But again, we are here to help as many people as we can, right? Because again, social media platforms and institutions have rules about what we can say and what we can't say, right? I can't come on here and say that carnivore and keto will cure anything because I am not a medical professional. I have no authority over what is considered a cure. I can say these things I have utilized, and in my experience, they have helped me. I have seen them help other people. I cannot make declarations to the contrary that these things will cure you because that's not my field of expertise. We shouldn't be talking about things that we are not necessarily quote unquote experts in. Now, most of us are fully aware and fully understand the ramifications of what we have been doing to our own bodies. Does that make us an expert on our own bodies? For the most part, yeah. But for when it comes to social media and what we can and can't say, we have to be mindful. Because I don't want my channel to be taken down because I say something that isn't isn't necessarily, as far as social media is concerned, true. So I have to play, I have to play along. So today I want us to talk about how we walk that line, how we share experiences, build community, help others become the thing that scares people away, right? How do we, again, share our experiences, share others' experiences, talk about what we've experienced, talk about things that we've seen, but in a way that's inviting, that doesn't sound crazy, because even just the idea that eating only meat sounds ridiculous to a majority of the population. It sounds ridiculous because for 100 years we have been bombarded with the idea that meat, while necessary to some degree, we should only be eating chicken, or we should only be eating low fat this, and 99% fat free, pork chops or whatever, right? We need to be eating low, mono unsaturated fats and avoid as much saturated fats as we can. And I still see so many people online who will talk about how, too much sodium is unhealthy, and saturated fats are going to cause, they're going to cause all these issues. We're going to see, heart attacks and all these things, and cardiac events and all these things. But we have to understand that the population at large is not where we are. How do we get them where we are? By being normal, rational human beings. Can't sound crazy. Can't say crazy things. Even if some of the things that are true that sound the most ridiculous, I mean, it's real. I mean, the idea that a lot of people out there think, we're going to put some butter on my steak, and I'm going to have some eggs, and I'm going to cook those eggs in beef tallow or lard, because lard in of itself, just the word lard, has a connotation of the most unhealthy substance you could ever use. Because it's true. Think about the negative connotations just to the word lard. Just the word lard. Growing up, how did you interpret the word lard? It's in the vernacular as, I don't even want to say it, but lard, and then someone's rear end, right? And that's somebody who's a person of a certain size, right? Again, we have to play the game. We have to utilize a vernacular that allows us to keep moving forward in a landscape that doesn't necessarily understand nuance. We have to bring that nuance. We have to understand the rules, play along with those rules, regardless if we agree with them or not, because that's what we must do if we do, in fact, want to help as many people as we can. We have to be ready and willing to play the game and play with nuance. I don't know why my nose is running. That's the thing that it's doing right now. But anyway, let's get started. I've been talking to myself and to you long enough. Let's go ahead and jump into the comments, because that's one of the best parts of the Sunday morning that we have. Sandy Blythe is here. Good morning, Sandy. How are you, my dear? Glad to see you. Very glad to see you. Brian Dish is in the house. Good morning, Mr. Dish. Good to see you. Evelyn, she says, evil laugh. Good morning, friends, including but not limited to Dustin, Sandy Blythe, Brian Dish. Yes. And she says, it was so good to see you yesterday, Dustin. It was so very wonderful to see you yesterday, my friend. I hope you had a wonderful evening. I know that you guys had a hotel and you guys stayed in Columbus yesterday, and you guys all had fun. I had to drive back. That's what happens. I had to drive back. Oh, I'm trying to figure out why it's so dark over there. There we go. That's what's going on. That's what's missing. I was missing a light. Happy Coffee Sunday, everybody. Sunday morning coffee with me. With me. Oh. Mr. Biscuit's in the house. Good morning, Mr. Biscuit. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Biscuit. And Rick is in the house. Good morning, Rick. How are you doing, my friend?
get dangerous.
There we go. And I dropped him. I'll get him later. You win some, you lose some. There we go. Christian Delorme is in the house. Good morning, Christian. How are you, my friend? All the way from Canada. I don't know what the weather's like there. I do not know. Andy is here. It was good to see you yesterday, my dear. Hello. Hi, everybody waking up in Columbus. So glad to see you. Welcome. I hope you had a good rest. I hope you had fun last night with everybody. I hope you guys had a chance to connect and hang out with everybody. Jeff is in the house. Good morning, Jeff. How are you doing, my friend? Good morning, PhD people. There we go. Andy says we had a blast yesterday, even after everyone left. Wish I didn't have to leave, but here we are. Mr. Gugahan is here. Good morning, Mr. Gugahan. How are you doing, my friend? Good morning. Running a little late this morning, but I will be listening in the background while getting ready. I love it. I don't know where that drippy nose is coming from. The dryness of the CPAP, I imagine, probably. There we go. Let's see. Can we do that? Can we do it? Can we make it fit better? There we go. There we go. Mr. S.D. Bradley's in the house. Good morning, Sean. How are you doing? How are you and your lovely wife, Shell, doing? I hope you guys are doing wonderful today. We had a meeting in Columbus yesterday. There is a video by Grandma, Crochet Grandma, on her channel that she put together. She filmed some of it. I haven't had a chance to watch all of it. I was just kind of listening after I dropped off Jennifer Lucas last night. So take a look at that. If somebody would want to put that video in the description, I will post a community post about that video in a little while. I meant to do it last night, but a funny thing happened last night. Chandra goes and gets in the shower, and then all of our drains start popping. And so I don't know. I don't know what that even means. I don't know. Is there something wrong with like our main line going out to the sewers? I don't know. We're going to have to try to maybe snake it somehow. We've got a 15-foot snake, but I don't think that's enough. I don't think 15-foot snake is enough. I wouldn't even know where to begin. So I'm probably going to have to call the plumbing service today, have them come out and look. I don't know if we can afford that. Like, come on, people. Come on. Oh, my goodness. It's like, I don't know. We just had our roof replaced. We're still paying, like, we're still getting the checks from that. Like, the insurance company sends us little checks, and we got to have, and it's a problem because even though Chandra got the house in the divorce, her ex-husband's still named on the lien or whatever it is for the house. So anything that comes in has to be signed by him, and we have to take that check, send it to the mortgage company. Then they sign off on it. Then they have to send it back to us, and then we have to do something with it. Then we can give it to the roofing company again. We've done this like 4 times, 4 different checks. Instead of just paying them directly, instead of just paying the roofing company directly, we have to play this little game. Now, I'm very thankful that we were able to get the roof replaced, get new gutters, all the things that a 20-year-old house needs, 21, 22-year-old house needs. Now it looks like we're going to be looking at something with the drain and the piping in the front of the house, and who knows, with all the rain we've had recently, I don't know. The freezing, the cold weather, who knows, it could have broken. I don't know. A tree could have busted through with a root. I don't know. Remember when we were kids and we wanted so much to be adults because life was going to be easier as an adult? Remember that? We were ridiculous. You try to explain this to kids now, you're like, you don't want to, I want to be grown up. No, you don't. I want to go to bed and be tucked in and have someone make my food for me and drive me places. You know, I want to not be able to see over the counter. Okay. That's what I'm looking forward to. I don't know. It's crazy. So hopefully it's nothing major. Hopefully it's just a clog or something. And hopefully it's not a broken line or something. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking for. Hopefully, it's not a catastrophe. But anyway, Carl's here. I saw Carl yesterday. Carl's a good man. I love Carl. Trying to get this taken care of so I can see things. There we go. Ugh, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm struggling, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Brian Doyle is in the house. Good morning, my friend. How are you doing? And then Terry Girl is here. Good morning, Terry. How are you doing? And Mr. Biscuit says, I did feel like a switch flipped, somehow bringing back something vaguely familiar, but from 30 years ago. 30 years ago. Sandy said, Terry, congratulations on winning the blanket. You could tell that we're old, that we're excited about winning blankets. Winning blankets. Blankets. And Biscuit says, yeah, I didn't obsess. I instantly remembered what the mindset of someone who hasn't flipped that switch is like, similar to someone on the other side of a political mindset. Yeah, I mean, I question those things, people's political mindsets and where they sit and where they are and how they look at the world. And I have to remember, not everybody has the same life experience. Not everybody has the same life perspective as me. Not everybody is going to agree with me. And it's okay. He says, I love you, buddy. You're one smart cookie, but I will never think of you as a tool. Hey, I'm just a tool, a very dull tool in a big toolbox, okay? I'm nothing super extraordinary here. There we go. Hit all them like buttons. Where's Carrie at to hit the like button, a million trillion plus one? Infinity plus one. Evelyn says, yeah, it does cost more money to socialize, but for me, it's worth it. Yeah, it is more expensive to socialize. And I make choices on that, and I will do whatever it takes, right? There, Amy's in the house. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, friends, she says. And Aaron Booby Goats is in the house. Good morning, everyone. And everybody's saying hello to everyone. And Jeff brings up a very valid point here. One of the main questions that we get from a lot of people are very inquisitive, right? They want to know, like, aren't you missing out? Because this is what Jeff says. I find it difficult explaining that I am not missing out when I choose not to eat something they want me to try. Now, sometimes I may try something. I may have a small bite of something just to see what it's like. Because I kind of, I mean, and that's to my discretion. I understand at some points that some people do put a lot of thought and effort into the things that they try to make for us. And so I will look into something. I'll maybe have a bite of something. Sometimes I won't. Just depends. I mean, I could look at it and be like, I don't want to eat that. I don't think I'll like that. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? I've never had that before. Let me see what it's all about. But we get to make those choices. And it is difficult to explain to somebody why we do what we do and how we don't feel deprived on the average day on the normal basis. So, we're going to say hello to Kevin from Tuber Chat. Word up! Thumbs up and shared on Reddit. Fantastic. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you, my friend. Everyone's saying hello to all the people. Still. And Mr. Biscuit says, I speak inside the community or with fam. They ask me, not on social media. It's the Wild West out there at times. You need to circle the wagons to make it till dawn. Sometimes. I think we're in a precarious situation, I think, right now, where we are on the cusp of either something phenomenal or a nuclear holocaust. Where it doesn't matter what we eat. But I think but no, but in seriousness here, we are on the cusp of tide shifting. And I think it's us. We are making a difference. We are going to see things change. Like, I have a jar of the new Hellmann's 100% avocado oil or whatever, the new clean Hellmann's mayonnaise downstairs. That tells me if a company like Hellmann's, who probably hasn't made a non-seed oil dressing or mayonnaise in probably 4 or 5 decades, that they are making it now, they understand the demand is there. A tide is shifting. Is it as clean as most of you would want it to be? I don't know. Is it carnivore? Probably not. It's got a little bit of lime juice in there. I think it's got rosemary for flavoring. It's got avocado. It's not made with lard. But you get the understanding, right? We are making a difference. Big companies are noticing. Now, is this available in Walmart and Target and Kroger? No, not yet. My kids went to Sam's Club yesterday and they got it from Sam's Club. So we've got that, right? But a tide is turning. We are seeing things like Hellmann's. We are seeing bigger companies buying small companies, but we have to be mindful of that because a lot of times they will buy those small little companies and change them into, a bastardized version of what they once were, right? Rick says quack time. Yes. And Evil Lynn says we went to King Gyro for dinner. Woo! I love a good gyro. Cindy is here. Cindy, ma'am, thank you so much for yesterday, for the meetup, for hanging out, being such a good person. And, I love you. I really do. And I had a good time yesterday. It was fun. Well worth a 6-hour drive. 3 hours there, 3 hours back. I was very tired when I got home, but my heart was full. Yes. Amy says, I woke up extremely late and I am rushing around to get ready now. I can just hear it. Amy says, don't call plumbers on the weekend. I don't want to have to go to the gas station to poop, okay? And right now we're kind of in that scenario where we can't flush the toilets. So the 8 people in this house, one of which doesn't need the toilet, but the rest of us do. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't want to call them today, but I don't know. If worse comes to worse, I can call them tomorrow. We do have a contract with them. We have like a service plan with them. So I think they give us a discount on coming out. And I don't know what they can find or whatever. They need to come out and look at our pipes and all that stuff. I think that's part of it, and I can maybe schedule that and maybe have them come out and do that. But I don't know. I don't want them to come out today, but I'm gonna want to poop. That's a thing I'm gonna want to do. I'm gonna want to shower a little bit. I don't want to go to bed stinky, but it's one day, right? Did shower yesterday before the meetup. Chandra showered last night, and that's how we didn't even finish running the dishwasher. There's like a load, there's a load in the washing machine that needs to be run, and it's just so much happens, and it's just like everything comes to a grinding halt. Dishes won't get done. I can't. Oh my goodness. Cindy has put the link in the chat for those who want to watch that. I, again, will make a post after this show, and we will be able to get that out for you guys to watch if you so choose. Yeah, I know they're going to charge weekend rates. I know, but I'm going to need to poop. And I got 7 people in the house who are going to want to poop. So, I mean, it is kind of an emergency. I mean, this qualifies as an emergency. So I don't know. Yes, Evelyn says, Cindy, thank you for hosting a wonderful meetup yesterday. It's always a wonderful time to get to see all your bright and shiny, happy faces. And Amy says, sorry I missed your meetup yesterday. I had a hard time driving there and back the same day. I have 5 meetups purchased this year. Oh, my goodness. And I mean, in all reality, that's like a 6-hour drive there and a 6-hour drive back for you. That's 12 hours to hang out for a couple hours. That's a lot. And Cindy says, I'm so glad you all had a great time. We did as well. And thankfully, the weather held out. It was a beautiful day yesterday. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. You know, over 900 episodes of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood that they never played the song the exact same way twice. He never sang it the exact same way twice because the band played it live in studio. They were an improvisational jazz band. Now you know. Mr. Prime Rib is here. Good morning, Thomas. How are you doing, my friend? Glad to see you. Tony Jacobs is in the house. Good morning, Tony. How are we doing, my friend? Dustin, good topic. I think that had become me too. My handle at one point had keto in it too. Early on, what I loved was the community. I felt support that I never had before. Yeah, the support is paramount. Having a community that you can go to, because a lot of us don't have spouses or family or friends who can help us, that are on the same path, that understand what we're trying to accomplish. They think we're being silly or whatever the case is. And so we need somebody to commiserate with, talk shop with. We need somebody, it's what you need, right? Welcome. Thank you. Terry is stoked for the blanket. That's good. Just know that we're getting old because we're excited about blankets. Cindy said to Amy, it was fun, even though when we got there, the restaurant was not prepared, because when I called in a head count, the person I talked to did not write it down. They were understaffed. So you called and told them we were going to be 30 people deep, and they were like, cool. And there was also, like, one of the fun things about yesterday was it took me a while to realize what was going on, but it was like people were kind of pre-gaming St. Patty's Day. And so they were like bar crawling, and there was people in there like partying and hitting the sauce hard. That was pretty cool. It was kind of fun. And Cindy said they still did a great job. People underestimate what hard job it is to be a yeah. Nobody. I mean, we all just assume like, well, they're going to be ready for us, but they didn't know what was going on. Tony says that I miss those days. It shifted a lot, and those connections being tagged and things started to change. And if anyone shifted how they ate, it wasn't keto. It was like, you left the village. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that there's a lot of people especially from Instagram, because I've been doing Instagram for like 10 years. I've had my keto Instagram for 10 years. So I met a lot of people and seen a lot of people come and go through Instagram, even more so far than YouTube, even though my YouTube reach is greater now, right? But I mean, my Instagram sub count or whatever just stagnant for the last like 5-6 years. That's fine. But there were so many people that I would interact with on a daily basis on Instagram, and then they would just disappear, and then you wouldn't see them again. Then they'd pop back up after so many years. So there's always that. But things shift and people change, and they, especially because it becomes such an identity issue. I think because for me, I see it in people when they become and they have it as an identity, and they come and they go so hard. We see it where somebody comes because you, as much as we want to, striving for perfection, I think, is almost worse than being flippant about it. Because if you come in and you're like all in, I'm going to be the perfect carnivore, I'm going to be perfect keto or whatever, right? I'm going to do 100%, never have a cheat, never have anything I'm not supposed to, always going to do it 100%. You're setting yourself up for failure. And I think that's a bigger detriment than just being like, I had some seed oils, I had this, it's okay. Because I think when we become so militant about it, I think we get to a point where if we fall off, not only have we kind of like we've kind of like shamed the family, like, oh my goodness, they're gonna judge me. So instead of being in a place where these mistakes happen and we are there for each other, people get so like how many people have we seen in this community, carnivore community, whatever, that are so gung-ho 100%, I'm doing everything, and then they just disappear. Why did they disappear? Most of the time they're going to disappear because they weren't able to keep up with the image of themselves that they had created. Right? We often fail ourselves. We fail, which is normal. It's 100% something each and every one of us is going to do. Each one of us is going to fail at some point. But failure is a part of growth. It's a part of success. You can't truly succeed if you have never failed at something. Most of us are here because we failed at 10 different diets before. With the exception of Rick, the only one I know in the whole chat who's only been carnivore since he's 15 years old. He's, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, he's the exception, not the rule. Almost every single one of us in this chat has done Weight Watchers or Atkins or keto or calorie counting, or we've tried this, that, or the other. We've tried anything and everything we've tried. I remember my mom doing like she was doing the grapefruit diet, or there was the low fat this or the whatever. It doesn't matter. We've all been there. We've all tried things. We've all failed things. And that's okay. But the problem when somebody comes in and they have this identity that they are parading around that is the perfect carnivore, the perfect keto, the perfect whatever, they're not going to make any mistakes. They do everything exactly the way they should every single day, every single minute. They do everything right. When they don't, they disappear because they can't stand the idea that someone is going to see behind their curtain. And they would rather wallow in their failure alone, letting it spiral and cascade into an event that undoes years of progress because they can't face the idea that we might shame them or think less of them. So again, that's why community is so important, and that's why I try, and I'm not perfect, but I try to be so open and accepting and judge free as I can here, even with things that I don't agree about, even if I don't agree with what you're doing. If you are trying to do better with yourself and you're trying to make the best decision you can for yourself, that's all I could ask. I don't have to agree with what you're doing. I don't have to like what you're doing, but I can respect it. If you're putting the proper thought into it, if you're trying your best and you think that that's exactly what you need to do to succeed, I stand with you. I support you. I don't have to like it. I don't have to agree with you. Because that's not what a community does. A community is there to support, to understand, just to be there to commiserate and just to celebrate each other, our differences. Yeah. And Mr. Biscuit says, so many cannot get past, yeah, but is that sustainable? We've been there. We understand repeated failures, but we understand addiction. But we also know healing, and that can be transformative. Yes. Is our preferred lifestyle sustainable? For most of us, yes. Is carnivore sustainable? It can be if that's what is best for you. Is keto sustainable? Yes, if that's what's best for you. Is ketovore sustainable? Yes, if that's what's best for you. Our job is to find what is sustainable for us. It's not like about who is the coolest and who's doing whatever the best and the most strict, because that's often not going to be sustainable. What's sustainable is finding out what works best for you, being open and honest with not only you, but to us, to the best of our abilities. I mean, you don't owe us anything. You don't owe us everything. But sustainable for you is not what sustainable is for me. But that's part of this community, helping each other find their stability. How do we find what is sustainable for you? How do you find that? Trial and error, mistakes, failures. Failures are just stepping stones on the path of success. Because you start with keto or you start with carnivore, and then you realize, well, I need to be more strict. So if you're keto, you go maybe a little more carnivore. And if you're a carnivore and you realize, you know what, this isn't so much sustainable for me, I need to back a little bit. I need to back off a little bit. I need broccoli sometimes. I need soup sometimes. I need something sometimes. I need that upside down pizza sometimes. I need whatever sometimes. And that's okay, because what's more important, being perfect? Because that's not achievable or sustainable. Is it better to be perfect for 100 days and then go 400 days of being completely off the rails? Or is it better to go 500 days and have 25 off days? Which one's better? Because if you're going 500 days and you have 25, 30 off days, that's more consistency and better long-term success than being perfect for 100 days and then 400 days of just complete chaos. Small wins. One meal. If you have a bad meal, back on it the next meal. We don't want to beat ourselves up, because that's how we inevitably stop doing the right thing. Biscuit's also saying our superpower is knowing how to turn the package over and read the secret label, aka the ingredients. And I put out a little video yesterday about the idea that a lot of coffee creamers will scream that they are zero sugar, and the second ingredient is corn syrup. And somebody in the comments said, Well, but it says it only it's only an insignificant amount. I'm like, yeah, still not zero sugar. They're still manipulating you with the front of the packaging. It's still manipulation. They're manipulating the size of the servings so they can get away with saying zero sugar on the front. If they had to do things like Europe does, and they would have to put, what is it for 100 grams? Now, is a serving, are you ever going to use 100 grams of that? I don't know. Maybe not. But at 100 grams, you would see that it's not zero sugar. Because how often have we fallen into that trap? How often have we bought heavy cream and it said 0 carbs per serving? So we're like, it's 0 carbs. Hallelujah, it's 0 carbs. And then we're like, how many times have we done that? A lot. We do it a lot. Eggs aren't even zero carbs. Are they insignificant carbs? Yes. If you eat a dozen eggs, is that a dozen carbs? Maybe. But I can almost guarantee you that if you eat 0 carb, or if you eat 12 eggs, I would be okay. So I'm not going to say an absolute here, but I'm curious to see, for those of you who wear a CGM, if you eat a dozen eggs with butter or your fat of choice, is that going to move the needle on your CGM? That's something I'm curious about. If you ate a dozen eggs, whether it's scrambled, boiled, fried, whatever, with butter and fat, because you're going to cook them in a fat most likely, is that going to move the needle on your CGM? I'm curious. If you have that, let me know. Oh, everybody's saying hello. And Brian said most likely cheaper to buy a camping toilet. It might be. It might be. Might be something I have to look into and see. I don't even know where I could get one on a Sunday. Sunday morning. Rick is here. I almost passed you up. There we go. Hello, Rick. Where's Rick? Is Rick saying hi to me? I think Rick's just saying, let's see. Did Rick say hi to me? I don't know. Did I? Did he? There we go. No. Yep. There we go. Good morning, day all. Hello, Rick. Good to see you, my friend. I was surprised to see Trish and Bob, who came in to the meetup yesterday from Buffalo, New York. That's crazy. I don't know. I don't know why I thought Buffalo, New York was like so far away. Like, it was only 4 or 5 hours. And I'm like, bruh. But I'm glad they did. It was good to see them. Always good to see my friends Trish and Bob. And Robin and Callie and Rusty. Callie's doing such good stuff. I'm so proud of Callie. She's doing all these awesome things. Proud of you, Callie. If you listen to this in the repeat, I am very proud of you, and I'm so very glad I got to see you yesterday. Let's see. And Cindy says, the main reason for the crowd they had, I was told, was their power outage in the neighborhood for a couple of days, so people came there to eat. Oh. I didn't really seem like there was that much of a crowd. I saw people kind of coming and going all day. I thought it was a popular place. Amy's leaving. We love you, Amy. Let's see. Aaron is making coffee. Making copies. Copy man. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Biscuit says NYC is nuts with St. Patty's pre-gaming. I shutter my windows and doors like it's The Walking Dead. Oh, that would sound, yeah, I can see that. Cindy says the restaurant lost power the day before and we're having computer issues and there were only 2 people working in the kitchen. They did a pretty darn good job, I'd have to say, for just, for that. I mean, realistically, it doesn't really matter as long as we have you guys, right? If we're just hanging out, chilling. I mean, there were people coming in and doing stuff for us that didn't even work there. I thought that was weird. But hey, what are you going to do? Evelyn says, no coffee for me, caffeinated salty. Risa is here. Good morning, Risa. So very glad to see you, my dear. How are you? And Rick is still here. I'm so glad you're still here, my friend Rick. Rick. Yeah. And Biscuit says Boston swells in New York City, and it's one giant pool of green beer and poorly cooked bar corned beef. Ugh. I remember going to see A Perfect Circle one year, and they played here in Indy, and they played on St. Patrick's Day, and Paz, the bass player, was playing, and she wasn't wearing a top, but she had green shamrocks pasties, and one slipped off. Just weird things. Everybody was drinking green beer. They were serving green beer at the Coliseum. Yeah, it was weird. Perfect Circle is a good band. Mare de Nom is a good record. If you've never really listened to Mare de Nom, check it out. It's a good, solid record. The other ones are meh, but the first one's really, really good. I mean, if you're a fan of Maynard, you'll be a fan of Perfect Circle. I mean, whether it's Tool or Pussifer or whatever. But yeah. Yeah, Charger Mopar, Rick, you are the exception for sure. And Mr. Thomas says, I made 4 burger patties and coffee with a whole stick of butter, but only ate 2, so we'll have burger cookies or add them to some beef tallow for tallow bark. Okay. And Carl says, my favorite thing to hate is when you go to a keto event and choose something that's not keto and someone looks at you and says, no judgment here. This is a safe space, with a super judgy tone. You know what? Yeah. That happens. It happens sometimes. And Thomas goes, what about the seafood diet? I see food and not eat it. Sometimes that's the case. And Amy says, I was like that when I first started on social media. I was worried to make a mistake because people think I was a fraud. Now I know people appreciate honesty and identity with my imperfections, and identify with my imperfections. Yes. Perfectly imperfect. Carl loves hotel coffee with keto brains. Keto brains. Keto brains. Keto brains. Mr. Biscuit says community is better than celebrity. That's why I follow channels that foster honesty, forgiveness, grace, reflection, growth, and support. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Mr. Biscuit. I appreciate that very much. And Uncle Big Guy is here. Hello, my friend. How are you? It has been a while. I hope you're doing well. Thomas says, I have such a hard time. I just take it one step. I have such a hard time. I take it one step at a time. Sometimes those steps can be super steep, but you still have to take it. That's right. I mean, we got to keep moving forward. It's not always easy. It's sometimes treacherous. The path forward is often treacherous and full of possible mistakes, pitfalls, things to get you. Look at my living. Look at my living situation currently. Not having a bathroom currently is not whatever. Not having working plumbing right now is a thing. But outside of that, I was sitting here working in my office the other night, and the kid and my daughter comes in and she's like, I just made cookies. They're warm. Do you want some? And I'm like, of course I want warm. Of course I want warm cookies. What kind of question is that? Who doesn't? What besides Rick and anybody who thinks that anything is gross now? Who doesn't want warm cookies? Okay. So and And I don't know, and I see content. I'm not trying to push or say things about people individually because again, that's not what this channel is about. But I see so much content out there, and I see people who are like they have like a box of donuts, and like their husband will bring the box of donuts home as a treat for their kids, and they're like, I smell this smells like chemicals and smells like poison, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. No, it does not. And again, that's my truth, right? That's how I see it. Like, I haven't smelled anything. I'm like, meh. Now, does that mean I want little Debbie snack cakes and things like that? No. I mean, as I've gotten older, they don't taste the same. Well, they probably don't make them the same either as when I was a kid. But when I was a kid, they were fantastic. I loved them. Like, give me all the cosmic brownies and the nutty buddies and all the things, and the oatmeal cream pies, and just load me up. But now I'm like, I don't care. But like pizza and all that, I don't. It doesn't. I can't bring myself, even if it would be helpful to me, to have and smell something that honestly smells good to me, and be like, nope, smells gross, smells like poison. If it's honestly smells like poison, then yes, I would agree. But I see such a growing movement of that doesn't even smell good anymore. Now, I will tell you that there's a lot of things that I have no desire for anymore that I once did. Now, my desire for things have shifted, but if I smell them, I still think they smell good. Like I still love the smell of the bread aisle. Do I want bread all the time? No. Is it as appealing as it once was? No, but I still enjoy the smell of it. It's like when I was a kid, I didn't like the taste of coffee, but I love the smell of it. Oh, maybe that, and maybe that's something. Maybe that's a thing for me. Maybe smell and how things are is important to me. And like I smell like the smell of pizza, the smell of baking bread, the smell of baked goods in general. Like walking through the grocery store, the smells are important to me. And like to me, like I don't. I just haven't smelled like a thing of how I mean, do I are like little Debbie's and stuff chemically? Oh yeah, 100%. Like I don't drink Diet Coke because it tastes like chemicals to me. But Coke Zero doesn't. Coke Zero tastes good to me. Oh, for my neighbor yesterday. So what I did after the meetup is we went around the block to this Kroger, and it was a weird Kroger because like a Kroger marketplace, and I haven't been to one of those, I don't think. And I go inside, and they're like selling clothes, like a whole like it looked like somebody like snuck in a piece of coals into this this Kroger, and I'm like, what? That's weird, but okay. I mean, Witter's Meyer, and they sell clothes, and Walmart sells clothes, and Target sells clothes and groceries, but even a full-on grocery version of Target's still kind of a sparse when groceries are concerned. But I digress. But I walk in and like selling furniture and stuff. I'm like, this is weird. But anyway, I go and I find because for whatever reason, soda manufacturers like Mountain Dew, Pepsi, and all that stuff, they sell things in regions. And for some reason, Indianapolis, the region where I live, they don't sell the zero sugar Code Red for whatever reason. It's probably a thing where they have too many products to reasonably stock them in any good, decent numbers in every location, in every region. So when in Ohio, I guess I'll be buying my friend, my neighbor next door, some. I got him 6 12-packs of zero sugar Mountain Dew Code Red. It's his favorite drink. It's his favorite. He can't get it here. So I got him 6. He told me to keep one. I'm like, all right, cool. But I got myself some RC Cola Zero Sugar because for weirdly enough, when I was in Cincinnati about a month or so ago to see Ghost, the arena was sponsored by RC Cola, so they didn't have Pepsi and Coke for the most part. I didn't go looking at the food court, but it was weird because I went with 2 friends and they came back and they had poutine. They were eating poutine, okay, and they both had RC Cola. One had zero sugar and the other one had the regular stuff. I did try my friend zero sugar and I was like, that's good. So at Kroger, they had 2 liters of RC Cola zero sugar. So I bought 2 liters of that. They were 2 for $5. So I figured, you know what? We'll see how good it is now. We'll see what's going on. Let's see. Risa says, good morning to Amy. I was watching the replay of the latest PJ party last night. Got to finish watching. All right. There we go. That's why Amy, 13 minutes ago, had to run to church. Have a safe trip, my dear. Be safe. Have fun. Enjoy your time. Biscuit says, I was at the precipice where I had to either choose life or wither into dust like so many have come to grieve. I looked at my kids, looked hard into my soul. There was only one answer for me. And that's when he died. No, he chose life. He's here. And we're glad for it. And Evelyn's asked if I have my ticket for KPO yet. I do not. I am working on it. I'm trying my very best. I'm trying my very, very best. Trying. I know, and Shander says that I'm trying too, but, it's a different. But I'm going to make it one way or another. But anyway, let's go ahead. If we're talking about KPL, I haven't brought it up on this live in a while, and I have feeling bad about that. Let me go ahead and bring this up because we haven't talked about it. Let's go and see if there's any new developments in the KPL front. Let's take a look. Let's see what's going on, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, ma'ams and peoples. Ma'ams and peoples. We'll see what happens here. Let's see. Add that to the scene. Move that over. Is this what we want? Is this going to look right? There we go. Keto Palooza 2026. Yes. There we go. Presented by Keto Chow. The Keto Family Reunion. October 8th. Well, allegedly, the wedding is going to be October 8th, so I will be there sometime late October 8th. So when the wedding's over, I'm going to get in my car and drive for 2 hours and check in late to the hotel. Hopefully, I have a roommate for that event, and they can check into the hotel, and I don't have to worry about being late and not having a hotel room. I did get the two queen rooms, so that's good. It has a living room and all that stuff, so got space. But the speaker lineup thus far, we have Dr. Ken Berry and Nisha, Maria Emmerich, our good friend Kim Howerton, Courtney Luna. We have Robert Sykes and Autumn Weathers. Robert Sykes is Keto Brick, Keto Savage. Additional speakers to be announced. So that's going to be fun. I get to miss the Thursday dinner meet and greet. Boo. But that just drives me crazy. And I know I shouldn't be upset, but I'm upset for reasons, okay? I'm upset for reasons. And we'll see what happens over the next couple of months here, all right? But anyway, that's what we've got for KPL. If you don't have your hotel booked, make sure to do that because I imagine there's a limited quantity, even though we are spread out and we're not at the Galt House anymore. We are in a different location this year. So please, please, please get on it. Get on it. Get on it. Oh, Bride's Biscuit says 10 cards with a gajillion grams of everything else. That's the essential for your body to probably a net win. Yeah. Annette wins. Brenda Foley's in the house. Good morning, Brenda. Risa says, I can't wait for St. Patty's to be over. The amount of product they want out on the shelves is nuts. Too much work, too many people requesting stuff. I don't even pay attention to that. I mean, like everything's got green in it. Green everything. Green and whiskey. That's what I see. I don't really know what else is going on. And Evelyn says, I've got coins and green necklaces for all my kids at school. Pinch proof my kids. I love it. I'm excited. That's the only thing is the kids love it. They have no idea what it's about, why we celebrate. But we just celebrate. We celebrate the color green. I mean, it's really, it's like listen to Typo. and to pinch people who aren't wearing green. That's the life we live, right? Evelyn made yummy keto cookies. Thank you. They were delicious. And the keto fudge, yummy, yummy in my tummy. And Arisa says, I only eat the things that are special to me. If someone is making something special, I'll eat it. I am better the next day. That's how I kind of look at it. So my great grandmother always used to make me things for my birthday. My grandma would make me things for my birthday. My grandmother would make me, she'd love to make over easy eggs on toast. I loved that. It was delicious. She'd make me fried potatoes and onions. These are all things that I don't do anymore. I don't have fried eggs on toast anymore. I have a lot of fried eggs, not on toast. Yeah, toast. But these are things like my daughter one year decided to make my great grandmother's eclair cake for me. I don't know if she made it for me. She was making it for her. She was digging through all the recipes and stuff that kind of got mixed together, like my family recipes, their family recipes. Because basically everything stops with me because I don't have any children of my own, and so that's basically the line stops here. So unless there's something really weird happens, the line stops here. I'm 46, almost 47. I don't see that happening, but weirder stuff's happened. You see like those 98-year-old billionaires having children and stuff. You know what I mean? You never know. But anyway, yeah, that's the thing. It's like if somebody makes something and they put a lot of work into it, and it's like, I understand what you're trying to do. It's not a big deal. Again, if you are like in a month, 30 days, say you eat 2 meals a day, that's 60 opportunities to win. You mess up 10 times, that's still 50. That's a 50 out of 60. That's pretty darn good. That's still consistency. And that's, again, it's not permission. It's not permission to do. You have to give yourself grace. You have to make your own decisions. I'm not here to give you permission. That's like one thing that always drove me nuts about like some of the keto groups and keto pages and keto things that I would be in. It's like, we're not here to promote cheat days and stuff. And I'm like, no, that has nothing to do with me. I'm not here to get permission from you to do something that I want to do or don't want to do. These are my choices. Your choices are your choices. We can talk about them later if they may not have been something you wanted to do but still did it, because that's going to happen. Like yesterday with the meal, I ordered the sausage and eggs. They had like smoked sausage with eggs, and so I had 2 smoked sausages, and I had scrambled eggs. I like scrambled eggs at restaurants with over easy eggs on top of them. I'm weird, but that's delicious. That's a good combo. It's a good texture combination. But they gave me the home fries. I'm like, ooh, they kind of look like my grandma's. They did not taste. There was no flavor in those. I was really disappointed with like 1 bite. So I was like, okay, that's fine. It made it easy to not eat them. But it's also very difficult as someone who grew up impoverished to not eat what's on my plate. That's very difficult to not eat what's on your plate. That's one of the most fundamental things in poverty is to eat what's on your plate. The Clean Plate Club. It's very difficult. And how many of us have suffered from that? How many of us have gone through that? How many of us still stress about that? How many of us still have issue with that? Like it's easier when it doesn't go on the plate. You can go down a buffet line and see all the things. You don't have to put it on your plate. But when it comes out to you and it's on your plate, it's just one of those things that's harder to not eat. Because again, most of us, and I'm sure a good amount of us, were raised to do the Clean Plate Club. If mom put it on the plate, you better eat it. And that's how it is. And Mr. Biscuit says, a body in motion stays in motion, and a body at rest stays at rest, unless acted upon by outside force. I embraced carnivore and then started moving again. Gonna move again. Guilty feet have got. Anyway. Evelyn says, leaves a cookbook for keto laying around and asks them to make you some goodies. I mean, I've got like Maria Emmerich's gigantic cookbook for kids that she sent to me. And so I know that a granddaughter will look at that and go, I want these. And she always picks the most complicated thing. But we take care of her. But I'm not super worried about that. I mean, they're only going to make what they're going to make. They don't care. And it wasn't necessarily really about me. It was about them. They wanted it. It just happened to be something that I was missing because, my great grandmother passed away in 2000. She's been gone 26 years, which doesn't seem, I mean, it seems like both a long time and not a long time at the same time. Mr. Prime Rib, Mr. Thomas says, I feel it is about how they taste, but how I feel. Or, unfortunately, the bad feelings take longer to affect me. Yeah. This is one of those things that I do notice. Like when you're at like a restaurant, you can smell like the oils that have oxidized. I can smell the oxidation of the oils. It doesn't always have to be seed oils. It's just oils that have been used too long. See, Thomas gets it. I hate Diet Coke, but agree Coke Zero is okay. They're just, I mean, basically the same ingredients, just different formulations of the. I mean, I think one has citric acid and one doesn't. One is supposed to taste like Coke, and one just is supposed to be just whatever Diet Coke was intended to be. And I mean, for me, is Coke Zero good for me? Absolutely not. But is it something that's hard to give up? Absolutely. It's difficult to give up because I kind of, it's like I don't know. I just need it. There is an addiction aspect to it. I've given up smoking. I've given up drinking. I'm trying to giving up sugar, giving up carbohydrates, bread, pasta. I'm like, but I want my Diet Coke or Coke Zero, if you will. Brian's Biscuit says, it has been slow for me, Dustin, 16 months. And I'm starting to get an aversion to sweet things. Bread, pizza will trigger me, though, but the worst offenders are slipping away. Yeah, I mean, I remember when I first started just walking past and seeing packages of Oreos and the longing that I would feel for those things, the longing for cookies and sweets. Now I walk by. So, okay, and I don't know, maybe some of you have had this issue before. Maybe you haven't, but I have tried to walk through grocery stores and stuff before to pick out, like, we're going to have a cheat day or whatever, and I'm going to go buy something that's off plan. It takes me a long time to decide what I want. Like, I don't have, unless I've had something like in my mind for a while, like sometimes I've ever just wanted ramen noodles or something. You're like, I really just want ramen noodles, or I really just want Kraft mac and cheese. And you have something in the back of your head for a while, and then you finally give in. But sometimes it'll just be like, okay, we're gonna do something, like let's go and we'll buy something. And I will go to the store and it will take me 45 minutes walking around the store because I'm like, I don't know what I want. And I usually go back to the same couple of things. I usually end up getting ramen noodles or some Kraft mac and cheese. Is it awful? Yeah. Is it worth it? Not really. But there's still something so comforting about those things. The comfort aspect of those things is unreal. It is. It's kind of a testament to how powerful the idea of comfort really is. Because that comfort is so strong, like the nostalgia, the comfort, just like that feeling of home is so powerful. It overrides logic. It overrides like your idea, I'm going to feel like shit tomorrow, but I'm going to eat this box of mac and cheese. And like I know going into it, I'm going to feel like crap the next day. And it still is one of those things that's like, that's how we understand that food is as addictive, if not more, than narcotics. Because somebody who is trying to beat alcohol, someone who's trying to beat other things that they will be in a situation where that urge is just so overwhelming, they have no recourse but to give in of it at some point. And I'm not speaking from experience on that front, but the food experience is one of those things. Just the idea of giving in because that urge becomes so very powerful. And I am very lucky that I have found this way of eating that urge is minimal and few and far between. But it still happens. And I have to be transparent about that because every once in a while, that urge just overtakes logic. And I mean, it's probably like a perfect storm of factors. What's my stress level? What's my week been like? What what all these other things that come into play to where that thing kind of comes in the back and goes, I will make you feel better. Trust in me. It's like the song Sober by Tool, if you're familiar with it. There's a line that says, trust in me and fall as well. I kind of feel that that's the mac and cheese and the ramen noodles. Trust in me and fall as well. But there's a home in it. They say you can never go home again. You can never go back home. And it's true. Especially when you're a person like me where like my mom is gone, my grandma's gone, most of my family's gone. I just have my brother. On my side of the family, I have my brother and my aunt and uncle and some cousins. Outside of that, I have nothing, no family. So the idea of home, the idea of that comfort kind of only lives in food now. There's a couple of like movies and TV shows that I find comfort in. We all kind of have that comfort movie or that comfort show that we can just kind of throw on and it really does impact how we're feeling. It like makes us feel better. If you're having like a shit week and you can just throw on, or like even like an album, you can put on an album and hopefully feel better. But there's always little things that, that kind of help you find that comfort of home when you can't go home, when there is no home anymore, as far as when you're thinking of the proverbial like childhood home. And these are all things, again, that we don't necessarily talk about, but these are all things that we all deal with, whether they're spoken or not. Because we can talk about steak and carnivore and eggs and bacon and clean eating. And we can talk about all these things, but none of that stuff is truly going to make who we are and what our past was really go away. And we're going to battle those demons. We are. And they're going to come up eventually. And I think these kind of things kind of will kind of put the stick in the spokes, if you will, of us riding a bike and make us trip over ourselves because we're not ready for that. We're not thinking about it. We don't even think that that's possible. And I think sitting down and having these conversations and talking about things like the importance of home, like, your mom, your grandma, the things that meant something that you no longer have access to. What's left? What's out there that your mind can still kind of go back to and grasp onto that makes you feel like everything's going to be okay? And these are serious questions. These are, I think, some things I don't think they get talked about enough. How important are they? I think they're very valuable to discuss and to talk about because until we started really talking about it today, I hadn't even really put that much thought into it. And I think that's where this Sunday morning is so important because I can just spend as much time as I have or I can with you and we can just talk things out. Figure this out together because we haven't figured it all out. Some of us have been doing it for 40 years and haven't figured it out. We may have the food aspect down, but what else do we need? What else is out there? Biscuit says poutine at a concert venue. Yes, poutine at a concert venue in Cincinnati. Yes. Weird, right? I thought it was pretty weird. Carl says, somebody at work ruined the iced tea the other day, so I had a Coke Zero for the first time in forever. For the first time in forever. And it was a spoiled fruit fructose flavor and odor that I had not remembered it having. I don't know. I mean, I guess I have it enough that I don't know. It might have been like, it could have been something. Did you have it? Was it from, because you're at Chipotle? Is that like, could it be something in the line that shouldn't have been, that they had like the syrups crossed at one point? I think that could be what it might have been. You never know, especially when you're dealing with the fountain sodas. Cindy says, at KPL, we are not staying at the hotel suggested. Got a cheaper hotel elsewhere. Debbie booked those rooms. I bought the tickets. Well, look at you. Look at you. I hope that I find somebody to stay with me, because it's going to be like $600 or $700 for the room. And I'm like, expensive. Biscuit says, I liked and drank Coke Zero during my keto days, but now I find it hard to drink even if I'm thirsty and wouldn't mind a soda. I don't know. I just find something so comforting about it, something so refreshing about it. I think it's like there's like a burn and the bubbles and all of it just kind of comes together. So like Biscuit loves bubbly. Those things I don't like it. Holly Springer's in the house. Good morning, Holly. How are you doing? Sharon is in the house. Good morning, Sharon. How are you doing? Steadfast 20426. Sounds like Stardate 20426. Captain's log. I hear a train a rolling just around the bend. Biscuit says, OMG, Dustin. I used to eat Chinese takeout all the time. Now I hold my breath if I pass one from oxidized soybean oil. I mean, that's one of the biggest culprits with smelling that, because I think they cook at such a high heat with a wok. I think that's just one of those things. But yeah, I totally understand that for sure. Karen Harrington is in the house. Hello. Rick has got to run. Rick's got to go. I tapped my maple trees yesterday and somehow ended up two buckets short. So off to the equipment store I go. Oh my goodness. Well, good luck, my friend. And Biscuit says the pleasure reward response pathway is indeed strong and deeply entrenched. It will take many years for it to fade. It should fade. I have trust in that. The urge threatens to overtake logic still. That's the thing, is like you can know, and you can know like how you're going to feel the next day, and still eat the things that you know you shouldn't eat. It's just so strange. Like it doesn't make like logical sense. It just overrides. You're just like, you know what? I'm doing the thing. And here we go. Cindy has to go. Nancy is here until tomorrow morning. Everyone have a great day. We will be live at 4. Everybody mark that on your calendars, your time. Set an alarm. Mark your calendars and all the things to be there for Cindy at 4. I don't know if I'll be there. I don't know what's going on with us today. I don't know what we're going to be doing. I probably have to find somewhere and go and take care of some business later. So, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we don't have to call a plumber. We're going to we might rent a snake thing. I don't know what we're going to do, but I think a plumber makes the most sense to me, because then we know we get it taken care of right the first time, and if they mess up, they guarantee the work. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. We'll have to wait and see. But again, thank you, Cindy. We love you very, very much. Have fun with Nancy and everybody else and all the things that you do. And Risa says, can't wait to see if you can get Nancy to go on the live stream, Cindy. I agree. Yes. But Rick, if you are still here and listening, watch out for Monday morning. I have a short coming out that I think you might be interested in seeing. Take a look at it. It'll be coming out 9 a.m. Monday morning, so take a look. And Biscuit says, I get it. Coke Zero. I used to love it, especially after decades of loving other diet sodas like Diet Pepsi. Pepsi Free, my fave. I'm happy to report I lost the taste for it. Great tools, though. Yeah, I think I was better off without diet soda. I never liked diet soda because what had done happened was I had not really cared for diet soda. I didn't like the taste of diet soda because it tasted like diet soda. There's a distinct difference between regular soda and diet soda if you're not used to diet soda. The taste of artificial sweeteners, there's a distinct flavor that I never liked. So then I went a multitude of years without having any soda at all. I didn't drink regular soda, didn't drink diet soda. I just drank like water. I'm trying to think what else. I had like almond milk and things like that. I was trying to think what else, if there's anything else that I was drinking at the time. It's been 10 years. I'm trying to think, like, I'm sure there was probably something that I was drinking. A lot of coffee. So probably just water, whatever. Probably probably drinking like the water with the packets in it, not realizing the maltodextrin issue yet. It took me a while to understand maltodextrin and why I should avoid it and stuff. But, yeah, so I was trying to wonder, like, what's going on with that. And then I went to the keto restaurant that opened. Like, well, it was a pizza place, and they had a keto menu. And I went to a keto meetup, but it was from Instagram. It was not on YouTube yet. This was like 2017, something like that. So we go in, and it was like they were just starting out, and they were only serving the pizza on Saturdays. So we went on a Saturday and had some. I took our youngest. It was like 11 at the time, 12. And we ordered pizza, and let's get some Diet Pepsi. You know what I mean? Let's go with Diet Pepsi. And I'm like, I take a sip, and I'm like, did they give me regular Pepsi? Now, there is a telltale sign for me to know, without a shadow of a doubt, if they have sent me regular soda or diet soda. There's like a mouth feel that I get, like when I'm drinking it, like a back of the throat kind of feeling. If it's a regular soda, right off the bat, I know. Then I'm like, well, that's real soda. And instead of diet. But yeah. But Biscuit says Dustin will be in hip waders at 4. Just kidding. I hope not. Man, I can't take it. Like, Shanner's getting all worked up about it last night, and she's like starting to panic a little bit because, like, who knows how much it might cost. Like, if the worst case scenario, the pipe is broken, and it's going to be like thousands of dollars, and it's like, which is like one of those things. Like, she starts to panic, so I don't get to panic because, like, we can't both panic. That's not what, like, you want to be a good spouse. And, like, so she starts to panic, and I can see it. I can see it in her eyes. She's starting to panic, and she's starting to freak out. But we've got, like, our granddaughters in our room and our bed. Both of our granddaughters are in our bed. One's hanging out, and the other one's kind of just laying there chilling. And I'm playing with the little one, and we're hanging out, and I'm trying to be funny and trying to, diffuse the stress, all while kind of like starting to, like, and then when we finally like laid down for the night, I'm like kind of like almost itchy from stress. Like, I was just itchy, like, from stress. Like, that's overwhelming. Like, you just kind of get like a hive reaction, but not really. Like, I just felt uncomfortable. And I'm like, it's so difficult because we both can't panic. We both can't freak out. One of us has to remain anchored, right? And I know that that's just part of the deal. I'm like, so she started panicking first because she's like, we only have this much money, and if it's caught, then like it's good, and everything's going up. Like, the last few months, our light bill's gone up. Like, even though like last month or whatever, the month before, our light bill was like, I think it was like $15. It went up $15. But we had used less electricity, but it still went up. We used like, I don't know how many dollars worth of less of electricity, but still went up like $15 or whatever. So it was like $600. And we had like, that's a lot of money for electricity. Like that, and like everything's going crazy. And we were driving yesterday back from Columbus, and like one of the major indicators of how things are going to go, like how bad prices are going to get when you're driving and when you're out and you start seeing the cost of diesel. Diesel's over $5 a gallon at most truck stops now. Like I saw even some diesel, it was like $5.20 a gallon, and I'm like, that's going to be real bad for us. We're not going to be able to afford a lot of things soon because everything is impacted by the cost of diesel. Semi trucks deliver the bulk of anything and everything that we utilize. So that's going to impact the cost of meat because it's going to be the transportation of cows to the slaughterhouse, from the slaughterhouse to the packaging to the state to the storage, from storage to the grocery store. That's just so much. It's gonna suck so bad. And then on top of that, like I start stressing about that. I'm like, okay, because I do all the shopping and I'm already stressing out on how much stuff is costing and I can't go to Walmart without spending $100. Even if I could feel like I'm going to walk in and get charged $100, like going to Costco and trying to find the best deals I can. And that stresses me out. And then like the idea that like, okay, now our plumbing is jacked up and it's going to be a bunch like, being an adult, stupid. Like, I want to wave the white flag. Like, whoo, yeah. So I'm stressing, and then she's stressing, but I can't be stressing because she's stressing, and I can't like freak out because she's freaking out. So I gotta like be mindful, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. Like, we go to lay down, and I'm like itchy, and I'm like, this is not good. But yeah. Oh my goodness. I try not to stress, Biscuit. I try not to panic. I try not to stress. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. But Lance is here. Good morning, Lance. Glad to see you, my friend. How are you doing? And Biscuit says, yeah, the first gen sweeteners were not good. They were garbage, especially coming from the 10 teaspoon sugar versions. The sweeteners have improved, though. Yeah, I mean, they've all been aspartame or whatever, and probably just like the quality and the formulations have all been clarified, you know. And Marisa says the early diet sodas really tasted horrible to me. They've improved, but I think still prefer zero sugar versions. Yeah, I mean, like, and that's a difference. Like, you can tell, like, typically whenever you're looking at whatever's diet versus zero sugar is usually an indicator that it's going to taste more like the regular original version. Like, there's like Diet Dr. Pepper and then there's Dr. Pepper zero sugar. They taste different. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, it's an emergency, Dustin. Bite the bullet, and yeah, don't panic. I'm trying not to, brother. I'm really not. It's like I try not to be. I try to be not stoic because I don't want to say that's the word, but I think that just being calm and understanding that things typically work out regardless of how bad they are. It's like it's only money, whether we have it or not. But sometimes it's just like, come on. Whew. Yeah, Brian's right. The cost of diesel is in boats, trains, everything. It's going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I'm doing the best I can. I'm okay. It's just I'm glad that I have a chance that I can talk about this. I can kind of let it go a little bit. It's kind of like a pressure release valve here, because like it's difficult to talk about with Chandra because she is the one who panics about money the most out loud. I panic about it kind of in the shadows because I'm the one who goes to the grocery store and I'm the one trying to get the things that we need, and I'm the one trying to find the best deals, and I'm trying to do everything, and I'm like, I go to the store and I hit it, I'm like, and it's like $250. I'm like, oh, or like go to Costco and it's like $325. I'm like, oh, it'll be okay. It'll be all right. It'll be okay. But I think that's where I'm going to leave you guys today. But I just think we got to wind this down a little bit. But, I just think like at the end of the day, food should support our lives and not define our identity. As we've been talking about this entire episode, keto, carnivore, low carb, proper human diet, these are tools. They're approaches that can help people feel better and take control of their health. But again, just as a reminder, they shouldn't become something that we defend like a belief system. Are they the best for most people? Yes, most likely, yes. I can't say that any one of these things is perfect for everyone. There's no clear cut, this is the best for everyone. Am I of the mind that the basic spectrum of the proper human diet, whole food, single ingredient, keeping carbs low-ish to the best of your ability, even if that includes like some rice and potatoes, whole food, single ingredient, meat forward, healthy fats, keeping carbs as low as you can is the best approach, most likely for everyone? Yes. That's of my opinion that that's probably the best place for everyone on the planet to start. But when we have to understand that every human still has their own agency. So again, the moment we start treating food like religion, we risk pushing away the very people who might benefit from learning more. Or if we're being weird, we're on a live stream eating raw steak. That's weird. We have to remember the optics. Optics are so very important. We have to remember what this looks like to people who already think we're nuts. So we don't want to go more nuts. We don't want to double down on the nuts. Double down on the nuts. Anyway, but we are building a strong community, and that takes time, patience, compassion. Many people who eventually find their way start out skeptical, confused, and often resistant. That's normal because they haven't built trust yet, and trust is built slowly. So we have to approach conversations with humility, curiosity, and empathy, and create a space where people feel safe enough to explore new ideas about health. And that's far more powerful than winning the argument. If we can get them to stick around, if we can get them to do just better a few times a week, and they stay and they keep coming back and hanging out with us and talking and learning, that's the win. That's what we're going for. We're not going to be right. We're going to win. And win doesn't mean being right. Win means that somebody is taking their health into their own hands and becoming and finding their own agency, right? So that's really what this is about. And that's where I will leave you all today. Think about that. Think about your interactions with anybody and everybody outside of this community. How can we make it more palatable for everyone? How can we be more empathetic, understanding, find more grace? Because remember, again, they're looking at what we do with the side eye. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean I can eat all this bacon? What do you mean I can eat steak? What do you mean? I've been told by my cardiologist that that's going to kill me. How am I supposed to trust you? And why should they trust us? We have to foster and grow that trust slowly but surely by being real and transparent. So with that, I love each and every one of you. For those I got to see yesterday, it was amazing. For those I hope to meet soon, let's make it happen. I have some live. I have a short coming out tomorrow, a live on Tuesday. I've got some ideas for some long form content that I need to make, but we'll see how that all goes. But in the meantime, I love your faces. Let's go out and do some good stuff out there. Let's go out and help change lives, okay? Let's do it with humility. and grace. I love you. Here's those credits that I still haven't updated.